This giant clam spent more than 15 years growing on the ocean floor before reaching its impressive size. But in the end, it was selected to be served in a restaurant. The chef carefully uses a large knife to separate the clam's body from its thick, hard shell. This clam weighs about 100 pounds. On the outside, the shell is thick, rough and rugged, but inside it reveals bright white, tempting meat. After being completely removed from the shell, the clam meat is thoroughly washed with water. The meat will then be prepared into 2 different dishes. The darker meat from the clam's tongue is boiled until cooked, then chopped into small pieces and stir-fried with onions, garlic and water spinach, creating a rich and savoury flavour. Meanwhile, the white, tender and crunchy meat is sliced thinly to be enjoyed raw in sashimi style. The clamshell is used as a decorative serving dish. The alien clam sashimi is now ready, served with a spicy wasabi dipping sauce. For about $1,000, would you like to try it?
I invented the lonely lounger. I invented the sloppy slacks. I invented the oscillating TV stand. I invented the mailbox letter shredder. I invented the swear jar generator. I invented the rage quit protector. I invented the watch your step rug. I invented the candy catapult case. I invented the early morning wake up winch.
Hindi ka mo yan. Shy.
So many races, different voices, different choices. Some are rich because of fate, and some are poor with no food on the plate.
Some are fat and stout, while some are thin.
Some are good and some are few. Others lie while some tell the truth.
Some say poems and some do sing. Others say through their guitar strings.
Some know it all, while some act dumb. But a baseline drum to the bang of the drum.
Some can swim while some will sing, and some will find the minds they think. Start to cry. Don't ask me how, don't ask me why.
Some are friends, some are foes. Some have some, while some have more. Every club, every mood is represented by me. And we can take a slide in this love, in this love.
Isang global o iba?
Everyone thinks Metro Manila has a traffic problem. Too many cars, too few roads, right? Wrong. That's the surface. The real problem is something no infrastructure project can fix, and it's been hiding in plain sight for 80 years. Metro Manila sits on 620 square kilometers, less than 0.2% of the Philippines' total land area. But it generates more than 31% of the entire country's GDP. Every major corporation, every top hospital, every government agency, every prestigious university, all in one place. So people have no choice but to come here. They come from Bulacan, from Cavite, from Laguna, from Rizal, millions of people every single day funneled into one bottleneck of a city. And no matter how many trains you build, how many flyovers you construct, how many lanes you add to EDSA, if all the reasons people need to be in Manila still exist, people will keep coming. Singapore solved traffic by making it expensive to own a car and making public transport excellent. Tokyo solved it by spreading economic activity across the entire metro network. Manila has done neither. The answer to Manila's traffic might not be in Manila at all. Follow and turn on notifications. A long-form documentary drops soon.
Undress you, let me tell you why I'm a blessing.
much trouble.
So contestants from the Miss Universe Philippines pageant just released their costumes. And I honestly don't even know what they used to make these. These are incredible. This one looks like it's under the sea themed. Like she's like an ocean goddess in it. It's awesome. And this one, are you kidding? I'm really impressed that she's able to walk in that, because that just looks extremely difficult. This might be my favorite one because there's turtles and scuba divers. Like, that is just so cool. I just want to know how long this took to make. This one reminds me of a peacock. Like, I love these colors here. Now, I think they're all ocean themed in some way because you can see this fish next to her on her right side, our left side. The headpiece on this one is just absolutely amazing. It's just so nice to see these designers express their creativity because it seems like AI has just taken over everything. But this one here is getting the most attention, and I am really proud of her. Because all these other girls have these diamonds, all these intricate designs, and she's like, I'm just going to be a can of sardines. She definitely was not a follower here, and I like that.
About me, that's the energy, that's that lemon pepper thing. I'm a 10-piece baby, bedroom fully in a bando. He gon' make it flip, do it with no handles. Never switching sides, only switching angles. Ooh, we go crazy like Rambo. What it is, ho, what's up? Every good girl needs a little love. Every black boy needs a little love. If he put it down, I'ma pick it up. What it is, ho, what's up? Every good girl needs a little love. Every black boy needs a little love.
세상 건장기. Peace.
So pack up your car, put a hand in your heart, say whatever you feel, be wherever you are. We ain't angry at your love. You're the greatest thing we've lost. The birds are still singing, folks are still fighting, the boards are still creak, the leaves are still down. We ain't angry.
Yung salita, pero ayokong magduda pagka nang sa simula. Maghihintay na lang na ika'y dumaan.
Ace!
Minsan gusto kong magsumbong sa'yo kapag pagod na ako. Tama pa bang init na yakap mo ang hinahanap ko? Minsan gusto ko tumawag sa'yo para lang marinig ko ang boses mo.
Philippines is so annoying. Because why do they have to make this so damn addictive? You know what makes this even better? Eating it late at night. It just makes it 10 times better rather than eating at some other time of the day. Real Asians never use freshly cooked rice. It's always the rock hard ones that's been sitting in the fridge for days. When you first open a can of corned beef, it looks really unappetizing at first glance. But I promise it tastes good when it's cooked. Personally, I like my corned beef dry and not wet. I usually fry it until most of the oil is gone. I hate it when it's still wet. It's one of those really simple meals that doesn't look impressive at all. But the moment you take a bite, especially late at night, it just hits different. Hot rice, crispy corned beef, maybe a fried egg on top. You know what? Forget about the fried egg. That's still a hassle. You just want a quick bowl of rice and corned beef and call it a night. No extra steps, no effort, just scoop the rice, throw the corned beef on top and start eating. It's one of those meals that looks incredibly simple, but somehow it just works. Salty, beefy, a little crispy from the pan with hot rice soaking up all the flavor. It's simple, it's cheap, definitely throw health out the window, and for some reason, it just hits different at midnight.
I'm feeling
You land in Manila with $3,200, a rolling suitcase with a broken zipper held shut by a bungee cord, and the specific confidence of a man who has convinced himself he has nothing left to lose. You are 52 years old. You have been divorced for 8 months. You left the keys to a house that is no longer yours on a kitchen counter, and drove to the airport without saying goodbye to the neighborhood, because goodbye requires standing still, and standing still would have broken something you needed to keep intact for the flight. The divorce took everything that could be taken, and some things that technically could not. The savings, which were jointly held. The retirement account, which was not jointly held, but was split anyway by a judge, who had seen enough to know that the word technically carries very little weight in a settlement hearing. The business you built over 14 years in HVAC installation, which you sold at the worst possible moment to cover a legal bill that should not have existed, to settle a dispute that was not your fault, in a system that did not care about fault. What remained after all of that was $3,200, a skill set that applies anywhere air conditioning exists, and a friend named Gerald, who had retired to the Philippines 4 years earlier, and sent you an email in February that said simply, "Come try it, before you do something permanent." You almost did not come. You almost did the sensible thing, which was to move into a studio apartment in Duluth and pick up contract work and rebuild slowly, the way responsible adults rebuild when things collapse. You sat with that option for 6 weeks. Then you booked the flight. Sometimes the sensible thing is indistinguishable from giving up, and you had already given up enough. Manila hits you in waves. The heat first. The wall of wet air that meets you the moment the terminal doors open. The kind of heat that does not ask permission. Then the sound. Horns, generators, a karaoke bar operating at 11 in the morning, somewhere nearby. Then the smell, exhaust and frangipani, and frying garlic, which is a combination that should not work and does. You find Gerald outside arrivals, leaning against an SUV with the patience of a man who has been living at a different pace for 4 years, and has no intention of accelerating. He looks 15 years younger than when you last saw him at his going-away party in Marietta. You tell him this. He says, "Wait 6 months, and look again." He is not being modest. He is telling you something about what the place does. Gerald lives in Cebu, which is a different island, and a different city, calmer than Manila, smaller, the ocean visible from the right rooftop. You spend the first week with him, sleeping in the guest room of a house that cost him $40,000 to build on land he leases for $300 a year, eating meals prepared by a woman named Lena, who works 6 days a week for a wage that Gerald describes in American terms as embarrassingly small, and which Lena has apparently told her friends is better than most jobs available to her. You eat breakfast on the terrace, and watch the neighborhood come alive, and try to calculate how long your $3,200 can sustain a version of this. The calculation is more encouraging than you expected. A decent room in Cebu cost between 8,000 and 15,000 pesos a month, which at the exchange rate, running while you are here, comes to between $140 and $260. A meal at a local eatery, which Filipinos call a carinderia, costs between 30 and 60 pesos, which is less than $1.50. A tricycle ride, the motorbike sidecar combination that serves as the primary local transport, runs between 8 and 15 pesos. Your $3,200, converted and managed with any care at all, gives you approximately a year. That is not a solution. It is enough time to find one, which is a different thing, and at this stage of your life, you are learning to appreciate the distinction. Gerald introduces you to the expat community, the way you introduce someone to any community with its own codes and hierarchies and unspoken rules, gradually, with commentary. There are retirees on Social Security whose monthly check buys a lifestyle here that their salary in America never could. There are younger men, 30s and 40s, running remote businesses, some legitimate, some with a flexibility in their definitions of legitimate that Gerald communicates through eyebrows rather than words. There are men who came for a holiday and never left, which is its own category, with its own range of explanations. And there are men like you, or men in the early stages of becoming what you might become, who arrived with a specific wound and the vague intention of letting the distance heal it. The wound is real. You do not talk about it with Gerald or anyone else in those first weeks, but it operates on you constantly. The low background radiation of failure that follows a man when everything he built turned out to be jointly held. You run through the arithmetic of your marriage, the way you run through the arithmetic of your finances, looking for the moment where the math stopped working, and you never find a clean answer, which is the specific difficulty of a life that ends not with a single catastrophic mistake, but with the accumulation of ordinary ones. What you find instead of answers is Cebu itself. You start walking in the mornings, before the heat peaks. The city is dense and layered. Spanish colonial churches beside shopping malls, beside barrio streets, so narrow the jeepneys cannot pass. You find a market in the Carbon District and spend an hour watching the fish vendors work. You find a basketball court in a barangay near your guest house, where men play at 6 in the morning before work with a seriousness that is also obviously joy. You sit on the wall and watch, and one of them waves you over, and you play 3 games and lose all 3. And they find this hilarious, and you find they're finding it hilarious. A kind of welcome you were not expecting. The language?
Now imagine the possibilities and opportunities na pwede mabuksan sa Flippage. Kung makuha natin ang Met and we become its exclusive partner here in the Philippines. Yeah?
That's why I brought in Lyda. She will help us broker a deal with Empire Media Corporation. That's Met's publisher.
Ano ka nga ulit dun?
Editorial coordinator.
EC. Isang letter lang ang pinagkaiba sa EA. Right? But basically, it's the same job, right? Different title lang. So now tell me, how can a glorified EA broker a deal between our company and one of the leading media corporations worldwide?
Connections, Mr. Montenegro. Connections that you don't have.
How sure are you na wala kami nun?
Di sana wala ako dito.
Yun nga pa yung tataka ko eh. If you're such a big shot in New York, why settle for a company like ours?
Excuse me. As far as I remember, ako ang pinakiusapang bumalik. So I assumed that you need me. And you know me, Miggy. I have a heart for the needy.
I'm sure we can do a lot better than entrust the future of our company.
Trust? Wow! Big word! Sige nga, Mr. Montenegro. Interesado ako marinig kung anong sasabihin mo. Let's talk about trust.
Does this fox spice?
This is a nine-tailed fox. It bites people, but I think it is the most beautiful fox. What do you think?
Does this fox spice?
This is an Arctic fox. If you are bitten by an Arctic fox, you must seek medical attention immediately and get a rabies vaccine.
Does this fox spice?
This is a Tibetan fox. It is a wild animal. It has certain aggressiveness and will bite people.
Does this fox spice?
This is a fennec fox. It is gentle and lovely. It usually does not take the initiative to attack humans.
Does this fox spice?
This is a blue fox. It is one of the most important fur-bearing animals in the world. It is friendly to people and does not bite.
Does this fox spice?
This is a red fox. The risk of biting is low, but it needs a lot of company and interaction from its owner.
Does this fox spice?
This is a marble fox. It has the instinct of hunting and self-defense. It may bite people when it feels scared.
Does this fox spice?
This is a Corsac fox. It does not take the initiative to attack people. It usually avoids large animals.
Does this fox spice?
This is a silver black fox. It bites people, and it looks like Grey Wolf, just like your friend. Is that right?
Pilingon na kayo ka kung makapuyo ka aning balaya. Kay mas kiningon anira ka simple imong balay. Grabe ka sosyal sa imong subdivision. Adunay swimming pool o basketball court. Aduna pagyoy playground o coffee shop. Overlooking pagyod ang tibok palibot. Busa kong ganahan kamupuyo dinhing subdivision na sultira diana sa comment section.
Cause I can't help falling in love with
Hey babe.
Hey babe, how you doing?
Okay.
Missed you.
Miss you too.
I love you.
In such an environment, this simple conversation can infinitely magnify one's inner feelings. Patrick O'Sullivan is classified as a high-risk prisoner. He is only allowed to leave his cell for about an hour each day and spends most of the rest of the time in isolation. There is no normal social interaction and no stable interpersonal relationships. Time is fragmented into tiny pieces, while emotions are constantly magnified. His case has made everything even more complicated. Not only was he charged with first-degree rape, but he was also accused of conspiracy. He was suspected suspected of attempting to harm the relevant individuals through someone else. This background made every step he took in prison subject to even stricter scrutiny. But in such an environment, he began to do something completely different. He taught himself architectural design in the prison cell.
Just laying out like the basic floor layout for the master bedroom, bathrooms, the guest rooms, 2,500 square foot house.
At first, it was just simple drawings. Later, after continuous communication with a person named Alphonse, these designs gradually changed. Basement, 2, story structure, space expansion from the initial sketches. It gradually evolved into a complete ideal home.
Bakit araw-araw naliligo ang mga pari?
Bakit?
Para priest.
There are a few words to describe what I'm feeling right now. B is for bountiful. B is for blissful. B is for benevolent. And most importantly, B is for budots. To all the people who have helped me, this award may be for you. To my family, to my friends, to Team Arizona Brandy, and to all the local Filipino drag queen, I only have one thing to say. Thanks. Bago ako umalis, mag-iiwan lang ako ng kasabihang, nakatayo ako sa inyong harapan dahil ang paghihirap ng nakaraan ay naging susi sa aking kinabukasan. In English, I stand here in front of you through suffering that helped me grow because yesterday's pain became the key to my tomorrow. And I thank you.
DJ Arizona.
Arizona B. B is for budots. 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 Thank you so much. B is for BP Choice.
Is it even worth it to reminisce how you crave for a love that did not even exist? Was there a lifetime waiting for us in a world where I was yours?
This right here is one of the world's rarest animals, and I can't believe I'm sat next to it. It's the kakapo.
I was bestowed the greatest privilege to join Sanctuary Mountain Maungatautari in New Zealand as they carried out a health check on this fella here, Bunker. Here's him on his back during this check looking absolutely adorable. Now, as of filming this video, there were 237 kakapo left in existence and they only live in New Zealand. Invasive predators like cats and stoats are their biggest downfall, so all kakapo have been moved to predator-free locations. But at one point in time during the 1970s, there were fears that they could possibly be extinct because of those invasive predators. However, a small population was discovered on Stewart Island, so this chunky green parrot got to live on, mainly thanks to the kakapo recovery program. And even 50 years on, they're still critically endangered as they tend to only breed every 3 to 5 years, and actually, as this video goes out, now is that time. It's hoped to be a bumper breeding season that will take the total population over 300 total kakapo, and you can keep up to date with it all via the kakapo recovery social medias. But now, Bunker's health checks were complete, so he could go back into the wild to do what he does best, blend in amazingly.
Give it up for NPB, FAG.
God, I won't miss her.
Oh, you will. We love Nicole Page Brooks. Nicole Page Brooks is, she is...
Iconic!
She has become quite the icon.
Legend.